And everything's coming together for the Orioles as they beat the Angels 9-5.
I'm from D.C. I grew up an Orioles fan. I remember going to the harbor with my dad. He would have a Labatt's Blue.
Ooh.
That was his beer of choice. And we would get crab cakes. I never thought about what was in them. I never cared. I never wondered until now.
Well, we did the Orioles on Friday, right? The puzzle pieces. And I misspoke and said, I'm sorry, and I'm retracting that. Ryan Mountcastle, I misspoke. We know he plays first base. I said third in the tape, and we kept going. And I got blitzkrieged on Twitter by these ham and eggers. I mean.
So stop listening there, buddy.
I have to listen. Yeah. I just don't respond.
You should respond.
Oh, Robert does.
It makes you feel good. It's cathartic.
Listen.
His go-to is untag me, you ham and egger.
I know, you attack him.
I don't need you to have another Twitter conversation with another ham and egger back and forth, and our timeline is just flooded. I'm begging you, of all that is holy, untag people you don't mean to talk to on Twitter.
No, they mean to talk to you.
So there you go. I digress.
You like crab cakes?
Yeah, I love
Del Frisco's has the best. Del Frisco's has the best.
Well, I mean, you grew up with a silver spoon, so we know you like.
Did you do Phillips?
We know you like crab.
Phillips in the Inner Harbor.
Okay, here we go.
Lauren.
Phillies?
No, Lauren. McLean, Virginia. I mean, that's high. That's posh.
That's very true.
Jason Worth lived there when I went and played at the Nationals. Okay, so I was looking up the perfect recipe for Maryland crab cakes. Crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does.
Let's go. Let's go.
So let's give a bunch of love to a bunch of different Baltimore Orioles. What do you got to start with, right? You got to start. Look at Scordato, you son of a gun. You got to start with your jumbo lump crab meat, okay? And their ability to win these tight games. It all started with Tyler Wells in Minnesota, throwing an absolute gem. Couple guys go deep, but if you go through this 8-game win streak, there is a lot to fall in love with. Mateo getting drilled in extra innings. Cedric Mullins stepping up in extra innings. Rougned Odor hitting monster home runs to tie games up in the 9th inning. Trey Mancini, the leader of this team, hitting a walk-off down the line on Friday. I can keep going, finding different ways to win. And then to keep the crab meat together, Al, you got to throw in a little bit of a filler, right?
Yeah, of course.
Just to keep it. Exactly, and that's my starting rotation. There's some guys in this rotation that need some love, people. Okay, the Tyler Wellses of the world, 2.49 ERA over his last 9 games. How about Dean Kramer? Dean Kramer, 2.15 ERA in 7 games this season. Okay, and then you got to sprinkle a little Old Bay on there. That's the seasoning they always have. But it might be New Bay. It might be Adley. Adley Rutschman. Here we go. Okay, Adley Rutschman's been in the middle of everything, and then to finish it off with a little kick. Give me a little tartar sauce put together just right. How about Jorge Lopez, named to his first All-Star team, a 1.74? How about Felix Bautista in the back end of that bullpen? How about Keegan Aiken in the bullpen? So there's a lot of love to go around. This is an unbelievable story. Don't look at the division standings. Look at where they are in the wild card standings. Mike Elias has got his hands full.
I love that tape. For the 5th straight year, the Orioles will only send 1 representative to the All-Star game. That's changing. That's going to change quickly in the next couple of years. Young stars on the rise.
Do you think they add at the deadline?
Where are they? Back of the wild card. 2?
He said he's taking a global view of the franchise.
That means
which means to me that, like, they might do a little bit of
both.
No.
That's a no.
I mean, if you add something significant, you're going to have to give up one of your close to one of your top prospects.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
Hey, Grayson Rodriguez is ready. You talk about, like you're saying, about a little spice adding to your crab cakes.
Old Bay, New Bay. He's dinged
DL
up,
Hall,
He's
yeah,
dinged
Grayson
up.
Rodriguez is a little
lat.
DL Hall.
Yeah, no. If they're going to do something like that,
they're legit arms.
And remember,
they have legit prospects in the minor leagues.
And remember, they have the number 1 pick next week in the draft. So I think that this team. You're right. I don't think that they're going to be a wild card or a playoff team this year.
Look at them, Robert.
But I will say they are going to have an impact on the playoff race because of the teams that they're going to play in the division.
You know, aside, good tape, D-Row, but No, but aside from showing and really accentuating on the players that are actually looking to turn things around, there's an attitude to winning, and there's also the chronic illness, if you will, of losing. This is an organization. Last year they lost 110 games. The COVID year they were 10 games under. They lost 108 games before that and 115 games before that. This has been 54 wins a few years ago. So they've been really bad. I mean, I know about the reset and what you try to do to establish the prospects and build up. But I watched a few of the highlights of recently, last few games. Rougned Odor. I know he's only batting like 2.
He brings a presence, doesn't he?
Man, he's got to.
I know.
And they're looking at him like, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute.
Petrifying.
We can win that. Yeah, like we're, believe it. And then you bring up Adley Rutschman finally, the #1 pick overall a few years ago. And,
I'd like to see Trey Mancini not get traded and get an extension.
The guy Santander is raked for this team. 27 years old.
That's a mutual agreed
homers.
That's a mutual agreed option. So I don't know, obviously we don't know what Trey's thinking, but he's having a good enough year. What's he making? $7.5 million. He's the highest paid player. Their payroll is $33.5 million.
It's less than what Max Scherzer makes.
They have
himself.
retained salary and others. Chris Davis is still on there.
I'll trade you Max Scherzer for your entire team.
No, and then they owe you $10 million.
When he
And
played
you owe
in the
me.
Nationals, McLean, Virginia. That's where he lived.
Who?
Max Scherzer.
Yes, he
lived there.
did. Of course he did.
Brandon Hyde talks about it, though. He said it's different here. He's only been there for a little bit of time, but he says we go there now expecting to win.
Yeah.
I like the
happened
fact
before.
that Brandon Hyde is kind of like took it on the chin with this group.
Yes.
And now he's starting to enjoy. It's got to be so enjoyable. I think you keep it realistic.
Okay.
Because when you look at the division standings, you are what
come on,
you are what the standings say you are.
The standings are a beautiful
But I
mess.
am fighting for a wild card
They're
spot.
one game-
Why not
are.
us? Why
One
not
game
us?
under
T-shirts
500.
need to
Hashtag we're
come
not
out.
done.
Hashtag we are not done.
We are
Robert,
not
you
done.
could have been a genius.
I know. I was just 2 years ahead
You're
of time, ahead of schedule. They will. They're off today,
are.
but then they
Yes.
begin.
Yeah.
They begin a series against the Cubs on Tuesday. So maybe a chance to pad those win totals.